Welcome to the Yukon in North 61. 18 months ago I was 310 pounds and had high blood pressure and had to go on medication. And I was really mad at myself for allowing that to happen. I started thinking about sheep hunting and getting a little bit fitter, a little bit stronger, a little bit lighter. I'm off the medication and I went on my first real sheep hunt, and here's how it went.
I would take a sponsorship for Spam. What do you think, Sonny? It's pretty good. I don't know why, but there's nothing better. This is where we saw the sheep yesterday. You know, a lot of people think when you have a high-powered rifle, you have to really change the things onto your side, and that's somewhat true. But when you're learning something, James and I went out moose hunting in the Yukon every year. Every day, every weekend for about 4 years. And got nothing. And now we get moose all the time because we understand what we're doing and where to go and how to do it, and what time to go and what time not to go. And I think we're learning the same thing with sheep. Where we set our tent last night, right near a sheep trail, that's probably not a good idea. Okay, so we saw our rams again. They were over there. I was going to put you on the spot and scope there, but they went over the hill. I do that drainage, get up into that high ground there, and just see if we can. Now, we weren't able to see them well enough to know if there's a full curl in there or not, so this could be a fool's errand. But hey. So there's a whole bunch, and there's rams in there. We'll look at them a little harder and see if there's any legal guys in there. That's about, between 2 to 3 kilometers. Okay, I've counted 16 rams in that herd. Most of them are small, but there's a couple in there that might be full-sized. So we got to go down the valley and up again. There's our little herd of rams. My goodness. that was damn near a perfect stock. I laser rangefinded it, and it was 54 yards we were from the biggest sheep in this herd. And the problem was, when we were further away, they were tossing their heads and down and up too much for us to really get the spotting scope on them, so we had to use the binoculars. I couldn't tell if they were legal or not legal because they don't hold still. So rather than being patient, I thought I'll get a little closer. So I crawled along some little valleys. James followed me. And unfortunately, they came closer too. So the next time I saw them, they were 70 yards away. And we moved back, but they still kept coming towards us. So pretty soon they were 54 yards away from us. And I was looking at them through a screen of bushes through the binoculars. And I still couldn't tell 100%. I thought one of them was probably a full curl ram. And sometimes I'd look at it, oh, that's a full curl for sure. But I never got the idea of the perfect circle. That I just didn't have the right view of it. And I do not want to kill an immature ram. That'd be a bad story. So I'm gonna be cautious and sure, even though that's 3 days of work to figure out how to get this close to rams. That was still great. Yesterday was a rough day. Seeing the sheep really put some adrenaline in us, and so we dropped up and down probably a mile. Probably went 4 miles or so only, but that vertical is what kills you. So I was going up and I was going down, and boy helped me just a little. That if we get a sheep, it's going to be hard going. But our second stalk, we didn't quite. It was late. We didn't quite make it. We only have about 800 yards to go, but it was going to take us a long time because we would have run out of light. I talked yesterday about my feet. So there's they are. Yesterday I had a red spot right there. And then I put the cream on, and it kind of went away, and I thought, oh, that's okay. And then because the cream was on, I couldn't put the Luca tape on. So, of course, it turned into a full-blown blister. So I lanced it, put iodine on it, and put a Band-Aid on, and then wrapped it with Luca tape. And so far, it seems to be holding up pretty good. Oh my goodness, that's a red looking face. And he started 100 yards away and then 200 yards away. At 100 yards away, he was behind some rocks. I couldn't see him. And then I had to make a quick decision. And as a rookie sheep hunter, I don't want to make a quick decision because I really don't want to make a mistake. So we're just back here looking at the hunting regs. Yeah. Trying to figure out what a full curl ram is. They may have given us the slip. "130 yards. We were waiting for the rain to slow down a little, being a little lazy. The boy went out to get the food bag, and the sheep were right up there. So we went back into the tent, and the leader looked at us, and I looked at him through this door, my binoculars. I had this out in this bag here, so sorry about that. And even though I looked at him for a good 20 minutes, he never gave me a look like's in the book, where he's base and it's the perfect view, and he was really breathing the wind. I was probably 98% sure now. And they took off. So hopefully we get another chance to look at him. I'm not quite ready to shoot yet. I badly, the one thing I didn't prepare for enough on this trip, like, I was worried about my fitness. It's been fine. I just have to go slower. I'm strong enough to do this. It's the identification of what the hell a full curl is. You talk to people that are experienced sheep hunters and they just tell you this or that because they know. But I don't know. It's really stressful. This is heart-pounding excitement. So I'll either get that sheep or I won't, and someone else will, because, man, we've been 54 yards from him, 115 yards, and then he passed within 200 yards of us, 130 yards. He gave us broadside shots each time, but I just can't tell right away whether he's, I think I got a, Yukon has a video on, it talks about hours of patient observation. And maybe when you're the first time out, you got to do hours of patient observation. So we have some sheep. They're going to come up this draw. I'll come sheep hunting again with a camera and a .375 Winchester to protect me from bears. And but I don't think I'll do this as a hunting sport. I think I'm a meat hunter. So I hope you're not disappointed with this as a kind of a crazy finale. This has been a very emotional experience, and I'm so glad to spend it with this fella. I love this fella right here. He's a good boy. But I think that's it for me. That last piece was a little bit whiny. You do get kind of emotional when you're putting out this kind of energy and having this sort of stress. So discount some of what I said there. So what to make of this experience? We got a tent beside us. We're back at our lake.
So we hoofed it over 4.6 miles. Took us about 6 hours. And I got a bit melodramatic at the lake there, but in the end, because we spent so much time with that sheep, and he was our teacher, it almost was like he was our little pet, and we were following him around, and he would let us get close, and he taught us how to identify full curl, a little bit about the habits of sheep, and how they feed, and how they sit, and they spend quite a bit of time in the sun, just kind of hanging out, how they kind of try to find places where they are safe, feel safe, and what those places are. And also that big male that we kept looking at that was indeed full curl. Although I just sounded pretty definitive, I don't know how definitive I was. I didn't do enough study on what a full curl ram was, and that was my lapse of preparation. I had good preparation for lots of stuff, not that. This is a good resource. This is the Dull Sheep Hunting Full Curl Identification Guide from the Alaska Department of Fish and Game. And it's got a really nice thing in here. It says if you're spending hours trying to figure out whether something is a full curl or not, it's probably right in the middle. And maybe you should go find another ram. That's what we should have done, but we just had so much fun visiting for 7 days with the rams that we got to know really well. It was a great trip, and we're going to do it again. He was the guard, and I think this morning is what broke me, is that he came up over the hill at 130 yards and looked at us. I was inside the tent looking at him with the binoculars. He was brave and magnificent, and he was our teacher. So for next year preps, I'm gonna spend a lot of time in the mountains in the Klowani Park and just look at sheep. That was the mistake I made. We spent way too much time on what was probably at best a marginal ram, but we were so excited. And, I started tricks in my mind of, well, is he full curl? Is he not full curl? And I think really when you're having that much trouble making the decision, either one, you don't know enough and you should know more, or two, you're trying to make something that it isn't. He was the big ram. He must have been close. He must have been close. He might have been just on, but you can't fool around. So I think we made the exact right decision, and we should have buggered off on the other side of the drainage and looked for bigger rams over there. I heard later that the big male of that herd was killed the first week of the season, so that was probably the secondary ram. And maybe he was legal, maybe he wasn't, but I'm sure glad he's still in the mountains. He was our teacher, and it was a beautiful trip, and I really appreciated it. And I'm going to try to get my strength up about 50% and try to lose 50 more pounds. And my body didn't let me down. I did a lot of travel, a lot of miles, lost 10 pounds. Great trip. Glad to have my son. Glad to have you along with us. It was a big learning trip. No expertise pretended here. We're rookie sheep hunters, and now maybe we've just made it to beginners. And what a great journey it's been.